Harp on Sports, The Bar, podcast, audio, media, radio network. Follow, share, like, subscribe at Harp on Sports, Twitter at Harp on Sports, Instagram, Harp on Sports, the Facebook page, Harp on Sports, the YouTube channel, and of course, harponsports.com. What do we have in store for you on this episode? A little ladies' night, a little Glas-No, and in the trap. Golf with a golden opportunity, and they blew it. Golden opportunity, they blew it. Okay, going to start off with this. I think this is interesting. I think this opens up some avenues that I didn't know we were on the cusp of driving down. And that's the fact that a billboard popped up, the greater Boston area, encouraging Brad Stevens, now running the Boston Celtics, to hire Becky Hammon, longtime assistant coach in the NBA. I shouldn't say long time, but she's been doing it for a couple of years now. Or Dawn Staley, head basketball coach at South Carolina, to run the Celtics. To be the head basketball coach of the Celtics. We're now talking about a female head basketball coach in the NBA. And look, I think if you're good enough to be an assistant in the NBA, and you're good enough to be an assistant for an organization like the Spurs and learn under Greg Popovich in the NBA, you're good enough to be a head coach. You are. You are. And, you know, the question of whether or not a man can take direction from a woman as a coach, oh, come on. I've had female bosses. What's the difference? Well, it's the environment in the showers. What? Does Greg Popovich sit there and stare at Tim Duncan's junk in the shower? No. It's all locker room thing, you know, locker room chemistry. Coaches aren't there hanging out. Locker room's for the players. The coach comes through every now and then. But they're not like hanging out. It's not like the 50s. This is not. I like this so much so that I would like to see the next step take place in this. Are the Celtics going to hire Becky Hammon or Dawn Staley? I don't know. I know that I believe Hammond's also interviewed with the Orlando Magic. So the fact that those interviews are taking place and we may have our first female head coach in major men's pro sports, I think it's pretty cool. How's it a bad thing? Oh, she's going to fail. Well, that gives you somebody else to root against. Want to root against Tim Tebow? You want to root against Danica Patrick? Take a step back for a second. If you find yourself rooting against Dan Patrick, if you find yourself rooting against Danica Patrick and rooting against Tim Tebow and rooting against Michael Sam, if you find yourself rooting against people like that are breaking barriers, think about how big of a turd you are. Think about how big of a turd you are. Oh, I want her. She'll never work. It'll never work. No, you don't want it to work. You don't. These discussions occurred 20, 25 years ago with African-American quarterbacks. It won't work. It won't work. This is what I would like to see. I'd like to see this in the sports that I look at. The NBA is going to be the first to hire a female head coach. The NBA will be first. The NBA will be first. The sport that'll be last is college football. If it happens in the next 20, 30 years. After the NBA does it, what sport do I see doing it next? Sport I see doing it next after the NBA is probably baseball. Major League Baseball. There's so much sabermetrics. There's so much analytics that take place. What, the ladies can't read a computer printout of what to do here and what to do there? If Billy Bean and it's all about numbers and it's a number game, I'm shocked that the A's haven't hired a female manager yet. I am. NBA will be the first to break the gender barrier, women head coach. The next sport will be baseball. The last, college football. Why? Because you're going to dole out what? 70, 60, 70, 80 scholarships at once. You're going to be talking to people coming in, people going out. You're going to have a handful of like 80 plus scholarships in your hands at all times that you're juggling year to the next. And 11 people free agency. People go to places for money and culture. That's 11, 12 people in the NBA. Baseball, you're dealing with 23. Farm system working your way up. College football, you're dealing with 80. It's more families, more people, boosters, boosters. College football boosters. There's a slimier, nastier set of people than college sports and their boosters. Just dirty. Dirty. Ugh. Just think about how dirty it is. But this is a good thing. This is what I would like to see. The fact that Becky Hammon's being interviewed, the fact that Dawn Staley is being considered for NBA coaching positions. The next thing I would like to see is compensation via salary cap or draft picks if you have female assistants working up your ranks. Same thing college football-wise. Same thing Major League Baseball-wise. I thought what the NFL did with minority candidates, or at least minority coordinators and minority assistants, I think it's, if you want to equal the playing field or you want to create opportunities, that's what this is about, right? You don't have to hire anybody. You don't have to do it. You don't have to hire. If you don't think it's worthy of a 3rd round or a 4th round draft pick, don't hire your minority. Stick to your rigid ways. Creating opportunity, take advantage of it. And that's what I'd like to see the NBA, Major League Baseball, and the NFL do. Hey, look, you have a female assistant coach, you get an extra 3rd round draft pick. The NBA, it'd have to be a compensatory pick in the 2nd round. If you have a female assistant coach, you want to create opportunities if you're serious about this. And the fact that the Celtics and the Magic and the Celtics are talking about hiring, or at least interviewing, female candidates for head coaching positions, you want to create opportunities? That's the next step. Create your opportunity. Create your opportunity. Open up avenues, open up venues. How do you do that? By compensating people. Look, we shouldn't have to do that. I get it. We shouldn't have to hand out prize money for you to get a COVID shot either, but we have to. We have to. We incentivize people all the time. Do this and get that. Do this and then you'll be rewarded with that. We do it all the time. Buy this computer, no interest for 6 months. We incentivize things all across life. We do. But there you go. I've had a female boss, so I don't see it that being that big of a deal. But if you can't handle, oh my gosh, how's she going to handle the locker room? Like an adult. Becky Hammon's handled being Greg Popovich's assistant in San Antonio. She can handle being a head coach. Now, I don't know what the right scenario is to go to a team with stars or develop a team. I don't, you know what I mean? That's one of the tricky things but that's the case for any coach. Would you rather go to a team with stars or a team that you can develop talent? Well, I would rather go to the team with stars. But Brad Stevens did get to Boston and then built this thing, right? Again, the NBA will be the first. And what do I think? I don't know if it'll be this year, but by the start of the 2022 NBA season, a year from now in the next 12 months, the NBA will have a female head coach. It will. I think they'll be first. I think baseball will be second. You talk about professional soccer, I guess that you could throw that in there as well because the sport's very similar. Again, the last sport will be college football. Just will be. So there's that. All right. From that, and good for the NBA, ahead of the game. The NBA's ahead on almost every social issue. They just are. They are. Good for them. I don't like the NBA. Okay, fine. Anybody that hates the NBA, it's much more a reflection about you than it is about the league. Oh, I just don't like the style of play. Oh, man, you wouldn't know any legal defense if I drew it for you. You don't like the fact that minorities have power. Plain and simple. And these cats are dictating things. You just don't like it. You don't like it. Okay. From that to this, Tyler Glasnow, baseball cracked down on illegal substances being used, right? Some guys use suntan lotion to grip baseball, different stickums and different things. Baseball crackdowns, and if you get caught doing it, we're going to nail you with the 10-game suspension. Tyler Glasnow hurts his UCL. Not going to have Tommy John surgery, but that's bad news. Going to sit out the rest of the year, maybe come back for the postseason. He says the reason that his elbow gave out is because of the grip of the ball. Baseball hurt him. Baseball got him hurt. By not allowing him to cheat, baseball hurt him. Now, look, do I think this is ridiculous? Yes. How do I know it's ridiculous? Wait 3 weeks. See how many other guys develop UCL injuries. Tyler Glasnow, oh, my arm, it's baseball. Wouldn't let me cheat and use substances on the ball anymore. So I can't, that's why my elbow hurt. Okay, well, wait 3 weeks. If 10 guys come down with UCL injuries, 10 different pitchers hit the disabled list because they can't use foreign substances on balls anymore, you're going to have a point. Dude, if you're the only one, nice try. Good try. Baseball hurt me. Okay, well, so we'll wait 2-3 weeks here. Multiple people should get this then, right? Poor craftsmen always blame their tools. Always. Always. If I had a glove, and I always get a kick out of this, like travel ball leagues, like my helmet, my batting gloves, and my wristbands. And meanwhile, a third of Major League Baseball players are pouring in from Latin America, and they're using what? Mariano Rivera talked about this, where he used, what was it, like the paper cardboard cutout of like a 24-pack of Coke as a glove. Now, how did he get to the bigs without travel ball? Don't know. Miracle. Tyler, you come on, full of it. Full of it. It's like, well, it's not fair to do this in the middle of the year. This happens all the time in sports in the middle of the year. Bunch of quarterbacks start to get hurt. What happens? You get near a quarterback, they start throwing flags. It adjusts your level of play in football. Oh, too many holding calls. What happened last year in the postseason? Officials put the flags in their pocket. Didn't call as many holding calls in football. What other things occur in sports? Well, how about this pass interference? Hey, we're not going to call it as much. Or we're going to call it more. We're really going to crack down on this. That's just football. Happens in other sports too, doesn't it? Happens in other sports too. Basketball, fouls, ticky-tack fouls. We're going to let them play. We're going to swallow the whistle. We're going to tighten this thing up a little bit more. Flagrant 1, flagrant 2. NBA has made these adjustments. So baseball, it's not fair how they're doing. They make adjustments all the time in a variety of sports. It happens all the time. Well, you have to wait to the end of the year. No, you don't. Official hockey, they adjust in the postseason. It happens all the time. Tyler Glasnow, I'm not buying it for 1 second. I'm not. You'll convince me if 10 days from now, 6 or 7 guys are on the disabled list with UCL problems. Then you're going to get me. Then yeah, look, he's got a point. If you're the only one, now should have baseball tightened up this before? Yes. Is baseball behind when it comes to a lot of things? Yes. Do they need to fix the shift? Yes. But the whole thing of not doing anything forever and go, what are they doing this now for? If you can fix something, fix it. Who cares? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has been broken for 6 months. I might as well never fix it because I would have fixed it before now. No, fix it while you can. So Tyler Glass, no, I'm not falling for it. Not for 1 second. Golf. Oh my God, golf. Golf had a golden opportunity here. Golf had a golden opportunity with Bryson, DeChambeau, and Brooks Koepka, and they blew it. Right in the trap. In sports, organizations and teams and fans, you continue to fall for this thing. It took me a while to figure this out. But being in the media business long enough now, hardcore fans don't determine ratings. They don't. People that tell me, I listen to the station, it's all I listen to, I think, get a life. All I do is listen to sports. Find something else to do. The people that make sports pop are fringe fans, not hardcore fans. Hardcore fans, I got you hooked. I got you hooked. It's a new audience that pushes you over the top. And I always tell Florida Gator fans this. The best atmosphere that Gator fans will tell me about in the last 10 years is the Auburn game from 2 years ago. Well, since you're about 95% capacity for most of your games, in that game you sold out, that final 5% aren't hardcore fans. What pushed you over the top capacity-wise that night, that day, were fringe fans. Fringe fans put you over the top. Hardcore golf fans aren't pushing you over the top on anything. You need to be able to bring fringe fans in. And golf could have done that without changing their sport. It didn't turn the course into Happy Gilmore. You just had two guys playing together. You'd have stolen the narrative in the spotlight. You put Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau out at 11 a.m. on Thursday. Whoa, baby, you got everybody's attention because they're going to be wrapping up their courses. Everybody's day wraps up. But instead, golf didn't do that. Why? Well, now somebody's a liar because it leaked out that golf's telling people, Bob Herrig of ESPN, that they reached out to DeChambeau and he decided he didn't want to play with Brooks Koepka. I know golfers got to choose who they played with, but apparently they reached out and he said no. Brooks Koepka or DeChambeau's agent comes out and says, no, we never said that. So somebody is a liar. Somebody's covering it. Just when I think, man, golf has had its most interesting non-Tiger run in a month. Golf's had its most interesting non-Tiger run in a month. Mickelson wins a major. You've got these two guys that are each other's throats, and they're all American. We can't ask for any more of that, right? All three of these dudes are American. Mickelson wins the PGA. DeChambeau and Koepka don't like each other. This is awesome. And what does golf do? Let's spread them out. Let's spread them out as much as possible. Let's make it a non-story because people play for love of the game. People watch for love of the game. I watch for interesting. Well, they're going to fight. Well, they're not going to get along. They could fight. Oh, what are you going to do if Koepka's 5 under par and DeChambeau's 4 under par and they're atop the leaderboard on Saturday? What are you going to do? Not pair them together? You have to. Golf just blew it. Sitting around, driving around their own car, smelling their own farts. Oh, that's what they are. Had a chance to be special. Had a chance to grab the narrative. Because the NBA without LeBron, without some of the big stars, it's interesting, but not what it was. Stanley Cup playoffs, they're limping along. College World Series, it's an individual market thing. Nobody cares outside of the markets of the teams that are in it. Golf had a chance this weekend, Thursday and Friday, to grab the narrative. And it blew it. Why? We don't want to. It's again. Well, it'd have been too predictable. So what? So what? You know what's predictable for the most part? The NCAA tournament once you get out of the first round. Don't have a lot of 12 and 13 seeds in the Final Four. You got a lot of 1 and 2 seeds, don't you? I just don't want to be too predictable. Tiger Woods ran off what? 8 majors and 7 majors in a 5-year span. Oh, we don't want this thing to be predictable. No, don't want it to be predictable. Golf blew it. Golf had a chance to get this right, and they blew it. To make it interesting. Remember, fringe fans is what hardcore fans. I'm a hardcore fan. I'm a regular. Great. A regular coming to every bar or coming to a restaurant, that's fantastic. I'm glad you're a regular. But the business tends to grow when non-regulars show up, right? Tell you, boost things. This is what will happen with me now with golf on Thursday and Friday. If it was DeChambeau and Koepka together, I'd be like, oh, baby, what's going on? What do they do? Are they talking? Do they not get, ooh, baby, ooh. Oh. Now, they're not even on the course at the same time. They're playing 5 hours apart. Golf blew it. So there we go. A little ladies' night with the NBA. Looks like we're going to have a female head coach in the NBA within the next 12 months. It's a great thing. Gave you a plan for other sports. Should compensate teams by hiring female assistant coaches in football, basketball, baseball, up and down the ladder. I think the NBA will be the first female head coach, and I think baseball will be second. Of your professional sports, major sports, college football will be last, if it happens. College basketball will happen too. It eventually is going to happen in college basketball. So there you go. The problem is your big elite female coaches in college basketball aren't going to go from well, maybe if they coach at the MAC, why am I leaving my SEC job or Big 12 job to coach the MAC? Just, okay, thank you very much. Just please belittle me a little bit more. Women coaching, I think it's a fascinating story. Watch it. going to steal the narrative here in the next few weeks, especially if the Magic hire Becky Hammon. So there you go. That, Tyler Glasnow, baseball hurt him because of their removing of sticky substances. That's a crock. Wait and see how many other people have the same injury he has. And golf blew it in the trap, man. Harp on Sports, The Bar, Harp on Sports, podcast, media, audio, radio network, at Harp on Sports Twitter, at Harp on Sports Instagram. Follow, share, like, subscribe. Harp on Sports, the Facebook page, YouTube channel, and harponsports.com. Remember, stay clean, stay focused, stay strong. Frankenstein. Have fun with your friends.